Good evening, guys, and welcome to my channel, Technical Analysis, the Unbiased View. So today I'm going to make a very quick video, a quick analysis on Torrent Power. As we all know that today on 15th of February, Torrent Power hit 10% upper circuit and it opened with a huge gap. So I'm going to make a quick analysis video because when any stock comes into the eye of most of us due to its super price action, so everybody attempts to get behind the stocks. It's very important to analyze the stock which is in everybody's eyes right now. So in the quick analysis, I'm going to cover 9 points. First, we're going to discuss the support and resistance. The second, we are going to discuss internal trend lines and their behaviors. Third would be the Fibonacci sequence. Fourth would be 200 the exponential moving average. Fifth will be Ichimoku cloud. Then gap, and after that we're going to discuss on the Gann fan and its angle, the near-term stop loss, and aggressive momentum from where and when. So quickly, I'm going to start with the support and resistance, which we all know it's very easy to understand. So I have marked two areas right now. The first area is this area, right? The first area is this area. As you see, the price which is showing over here is 504.67. So 504 or 505. So this is the area, and the significance and the attraction and the rejection uh, of this particular band is highlighted in eclipsed in circles. So as you can see that number of times it came into this particular band, consolidated, and a large move came. So either there was a rejection or there was a uh, pullback from the same area. So as you can see that in the past it came here, it took a support and it then moved up, and again you see with this area it breached the area, then again it break out, and again it had a good breakout. Again the price came here, consolidated, and a sharp pullback. Again price came here, you see this area, uh, again it felt the resistance, then it broke, again it consolidated and a smaller pullback, and eventually it broke. So what is the significance of this particular price band with respect to the today's price action? As you all see, today price exactly stopped after a huge gap on the same spot. You know, the spot which is tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So see the price exactly today stopped at the same position. So there is a lot of significance of the support and resistance. It is just not simply drawing any flat line, but understanding the behavior. So then as you study in market profile, the most number of volume or the value exchange near this area. So today it had a good gap, but eventually stock stopped exactly closed into the this band. Now the second support and resistance band, if we try to understand, is 476. So before the gap, the price was continuously taking the support of this particular area, and recently it broke with a very sharp momentum, and then again it pulled back, and today it made a huge gap. Correct? So if we have to treat our immediate stop loss, correct, if we say that the subsequent day or any particular day it breaks out the high of this particular price action, which is 504 or 507, which is the today's high. So the immediate near term support, stop loss, or an area from where it can take a pullback is 476, because prior to today's gap the price was constantly respecting this particular band, except over here where it broke it. Correct? So this was part 1 with respect to the support and resistance. Quickly, part 2, which is our internal trend line, very important part. So if you see, the internal trend line has again a huge contraction and expansion behavior when it comes to the support and resistance. So the, for example, of support line which was acting as a support line, and the price breaks down, so then it acts as a resistance. So for example, if you see, the price was taking support over here, correct, the price was taking support, But here, when the price slipped below this particular internal trend line 1, it acted as a resistance angle, and from here it continuously consolidated for a lot of days, and then it had a sharp fall. Now, what is the significance of internal trend line 1? I will explain you when I discuss the Gann angle. Similarly, I can spot internal trend line 2 and internal trend line 3, which was again acting as a, you see, acting as a support over here. Then here the same angle, internal trend line, which was then it acted as a resistance. Similarly, the it acted as a support, correct? It fell below, it took the resistance, and again it broke with the sharp momentum. Now, if you see today, this particular wick, okay, it was consolidating or confluencing with the golden ratio 61% and this internal trend line 3. It came back, it took a support somewhere here from the same area, and again it closed above. So in the near term, if price if the price breaks out, it and the sharp momentum, upside momentum continues, so this trend line will act as a very very critical areas to convert the price momentum into a aggressive price momentum, correct? So for example, if price fails and it takes the support, and if it moves like that and again it breaks, so this internal trend line will be the first resistance angle. So the price will take a resistance, again it will try to close above it. Second scenario, for example, price again cross the high and keep moving upward. So the first resistance will be this particular this trend line. So price will definitely have a some rejection, maybe a 2% rejection or a 10% rejection. That is immaterial, but it will definitely have some retracement after an aggressive projection from this high. And if at all price keeps on moving upward and price settles above this, so again it will act as a support. The behavior of the internal trend line will change as a support trend line, correct? Now the significance of the internal trend line 2 is it is getting formed above the 50% of the Fibonacci sequence. So I will again explain you the significance, another significance of internal trend line 2 when I discuss the Gann fan and Gann angle. So now we are discussing the internal trend lines and the Fibonacci. So as we discussed that this was the area of confluence with respect to the golden ratio, and if the aggressive price momentum continues, the market will settle above 50% and it will act as a very strong support trend line. So it will be not easy for Torrent Power to break it so easily. If at all it breaks and takes the support at 38% or 50%, again it will act as a resistance trend line. So this is the behavior. The second is a chart pattern, which you can see the chart pattern within this internal trend lines. They are also acting as an expanding broadening wedge pattern. Okay, right? So if you see, this is an expanding broadening wedge pattern in this area, in this area. So it makes the stock, it makes the behavior of the stock very volatile, right? If you see this area, it was it took the resistance over and it took a very sharp rejection. Then again it was acting into the expanding band and it took a sharp rejection. So what is the actual behavior, the basic behavior of this expanding wedge pattern is that it increases the volatility in the stock. We have studied the falling wedge where the momentum becomes narrowed down and then there is a decisive move. Similarly, we have studied the rising wedge where the momentum becomes a narrow down, it takes a sharp move. Similarly, when it is a, it's other way around, if it is like that, so it increases the volatility in the stock, right? That is all about the internal trend lines, Fibonacci, and the support resistance. Now, quickly, if I have to explain you the significance with respect to the today move is, let's discuss 200 EMA. So this is 200 exponential moving average. So ever since it broke with confluence of 50%, this is the first time that the Torrent Power has settled above 200 exponential moving average, correct? So it broke the 200 exponential moving average over here, correct? Uh, with a strong support of 502 and internal trend line 1. So you see there is a rejection. Then again it went above. Again it took a rejection from internal trend line 1, and again it fell down, and then once it broke the this particular trend line, internal trend line, and Fibonacci 50%, the rejection, the downfall was very sharp. So the significant move with respect to today's closing is that it closed well above 200 exponential moving average, and today's value of exponential 200 exponential moving average is 498. You can round it up to 500. Correct. So now adding to the near term stop loss or a support is trend line, internal trend line 3, which is a immediate support, 200 exponential moving average. Correct. That is again a near term support or stop loss, and 476. So we got 3 points. First we got an angle, second we got a support and resistance band, and third we got a 200 moving average. So these three things will act as a quick support, stop loss, or a area from where it can take again a pullback if it corrects a little bit. Now, if what tool which I use quite often is Ichimoku cloud. So if you understand the behavior of the cloud, the price is well within the cloud, and this particular flat Kumo is confluencing with a very important critical area, which is 50% of Fibonacci. So there is some resistance still, because the first resistance what I discussed earlier was that it closed exactly at this area 504, at this area. Correct. And the price is still well within the red Kumo. So let the future Kumo come and it make us crossover and make it a green Kumo, and then if it breaks, then there will be a sentimental boost confirmation in the trend with respect to the Torrent Power's future move. Last but not the least, if I just see the angle, so this is angle 1 bar 1, this red line. So it is exactly overlapping the internal trend line 1. So in a Gann, we have a very basic say that if the positive movement is above 1 bar 1, it's a bullish positive, and if the positive move is below 1 bar 1, it's a weak positive. So as you can see, when it was moving above 1 by 1, it was having a very strong up move. Correct. And when it was moving below 1 bar 1, it fell, and because it was a very weak bullishness. At the same time, if you can see, I have marked the wave count also. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. So it completed its projection C, retracement C, and it took a jump. So it may happen that it may come down somewhere over here, or it may come somewhere over here, make a wave 2, and then it start making an impulsive wave 3. Correct. So you can wait for some time. If at all it retraces over here to 746 476, and then it moves back, so this will act as a wave 2. Correct. And this is a start of wave 1. So that is another thing. And if you see Gann fan angle 2 bar 1, 2 bar 1, which is this particular blue line. Correct. The immediate resistance or the trend change and the trend shift momentum is just right above the today's closing. So if you allow the price to settle above this or internal trend line 2, which are both are very nearby, and if I plot my cloud, so it is acting as a range shift. So if it crosses the cloud, if it crosses the cloud, close above the cloud and settles above the internal trend line, and then it can move like this. Correct. So you will have a channel, and if it breaks the channel, that will be confirmation for a subsequent another aggressive breakout and momentum. So this was my quick analysis on Torrent Power. So have the same kind of a forecast on your charts and trade accordingly, and just be patient, wait, see the move, and act on a very critical areas with respect to the Gann support, resistance, and internal trend line or 200 moving average, right? So thank you guys, this was my quick analysis on Torrent Power. Have a good day.